Welcome to the introductory lecture for ANC 1101. Basically what I'm going to do here is just go over the Angel portion of our class since we went over the syllabus in class. I just want to make sure that everybody's clear on how the course will run online since half of your assignments will be online as we talked about in class. So here's the front page of our class. When you log into Angel, this should be something similar to what you will see, although I have a bit of a different view since I'm the teacher. So if things look a little bit different, don't be alarmed by that. What I want to call your attention to up here is just a couple of things. If you've had an online class before or have had a class that uses Angel a lot, this will be all familiar to you, but there will be a few things that will be unique to our particular class, so just bear with me. It's going to be a short lecture, I promise. The first thing that I want to call your attention to are the announcements. There should be an announcement because I just posted one here, but I don't know where it went. But you'll see any current announcements pop up here. And I will also occasionally be sending you emails. If you go to communicate, you'll see that you have an inbox, and if something is there, it should flag you on your home page that you have a message. But you can also send me messages through Angel. I tend to not check them as frequently as I do my other email, but I will get it, and I should be checking at least once a day, so I will get it hopefully quickly. But you can also send emails to your fellow students, which can be really helpful if you have a peer review question or concern and want to address that during the time when we're not meeting, as opposed to trying to address that during class. All right. The other thing you will notice on your Communicate page is discussion forums. So already you have 3 discussion forum assignments for the weeks, and you'll see that they are attached to weeks, but we'll go over that in a minute. The other thing that I wanted to show you, most important probably link that you will come to use is the lessons link. When you click on lessons, you'll see that we have 8 weeks of our class, one of which is finals week. So we only have 7 weeks of class, which I'm sure I'll be talking about, and we'll be talking about at length in our first class meeting. It's a really condensed, compressed class. So please don't be alarmed when you click on, for example, week 1 and you see this enormous amount of information. Just take it step by step. Every week has a different folder, and they are marked by or listed by date. So week 1 starts March 12th, even though our class doesn't begin until the 13th. Weeks always start on Monday, just for clarity's sake. The week begins in my mind on Monday, so the weeks begin on Monday. They go until Sunday night at 11:59, which again we talked about in class, but they go until 11:59 on Sunday. At that point, every online assignment closes, which means you no longer have the opportunity to respond to it. So if we look in here, one of your assignments is a timed writing this week. And it's just a diagnostic kind of essay. I want to see what skills you have. You have 60 minutes to write a 5-paragraph essay. This will close, and you will no longer be able to do that after Sunday the 18th. So you need to make sure that you're making time sometime between when our class starts on the 12th and the 18th at 11:59. I don't particularly care when you do it. There's not like a bonus for doing it on Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock as opposed to Sunday night at 11:30. However, I will say that if you wait until Sunday night at 11:30 and it's a 60-minute prompt, it's going to close on you before you're done. So you need to make sure that you're aware of the time and that you're not procrastinating so much that you are running the risk of not being able to take a quiz or not being able to submit an assignment because technology strikes on you. All right, so I wanted to show you something called the Turnitin Dropbox. This is often very confusing for people. I'm not entirely sure why, but I'm just going to go through it and show you what it looks like. So when you have an assignment that you need to submit that's not a discussion board, because discussion board assignments just go on the discussion board itself, but something like a position paper or a pre-writing assignment that's due not in class but outside of class in our hybrid portion of the course, then you'll see something that looks like this icon here with the paper and the red arrow. This is a Turnitin Dropbox. What it means is that you're going to upload your work to this Dropbox. It's going to run it automatically through turnitin.com to ensure that it hasn't been plagiarized, and it'll give a report to me when I see it of how much of it is original. Please don't stress out about this. If you've done your own work, it should be fine. It's really simple to use. All you have to do is click on it. When I click on it, it's going to be a little bit different, but when you click on it, you should be able to just upload your paper like you would upload an attachment to an email. It should be super simple, and then you just submit it. Again, the Dropboxes will close at the end of the week, so at 11:59 on Sunday night they close. So if you don't submit your paper before then you will be out of luck. If you submit a paper and it's the wrong paper, it won't allow you to submit more than once. So that also means that if you have, for some reason, a two-part file, like a two-part assignment, I can't anticipate that actually happening, but if you, for some reason, have divided, for example, a paper and a works cited page, you can't upload two files. You need to combine those into one file before you upload it. It's really important because it's not going to let you upload the second file. If for some reason you've uploaded the wrong file for some reason, I don't know why that would happen, make sure that you're saving your things, your files with unique names, and that will eliminate that. But if for some reason that happens, you're just going to need to email me and we're going to need to figure it out. It's pretty simple. Every individual writing assignment will have a different Dropbox. So for week 2, you have 2 different Dropboxes. And if we head to week 3, you have one, and week 4 you have another one, and they all have individual titles. So for example, you noticed in week 2 you have a pre-writing assignment, which is, an assignment, but it's not exactly a paper assignment. And then you have position paper 1, which is a paper assignment, a 1-page paper assignment as described in the syllabus. So they're going to have unique Dropboxes as long as it's something that needs to be uploaded to me during that week. And this will correspond to your syllabus. So on your syllabus it says, let's see if I can pull it up really quickly. On your syllabus it says that you have in-class and out-of-class assignments. Okay, here's our syllabus, which you can also find in week 1. It's posted in week 1. Okay, so here's week 2, for example. Let's make this bigger. All right, so here's week 2, and in class I want you to have read these things before you come to class, and then you'll have your pre-writing for paper 1 in class in hand. But out of class during that same week, you have more readings, and then you have these other assignments. So these out of class assignments will correspond to what you find on Angel, okay? Everything that's being handled in class, except for the readings, for example, paper 1 assignment sheet is posted in that week so that you can read it. Everything else will be corresponding to out of class assignments. So the discussion board is posted there, position paper 1, both the assignment and the Dropbox, and the paper 2 pre-writing Dropbox, which corresponds to what is listed on the paper 2 assignment sheet, is there. So that's what I mean by corresponding to the assignment, the syllabus schedule, and the assignments. All right, so when you are looking at your gradebook or you're hoping to look at your grades, I'm not entirely sure how it works for students, but I find the Angel gradebook incredibly difficult to follow. Right now there's nothing in it, but eventually you should be able to, and here's everybody's name, so I'm going to scooch. But you'll see all of the assignments that have Dropboxes, they automatically have areas here for grades, but you won't see your grades come up until I have graded, obviously, until I have graded the assignment. Please don't worry about that. Only worry if you see a 0 pop up and you know that you've turned something in. This will commonly happen if you don't submit something in the way that I've asked you to. So if you don't submit it in the Dropbox and instead email it to me, which I have specifically asked you not to do, but if something happens Oftentimes I won't necessarily remember. I teach 7 classes, so it's very easy for me to not remember an individual email because I get so many emails a day. So you're your best advocate. If you see a 0 pop up and you know that that's not correct, then you need to let me know, and I will go back and find that email and rectify that problem. But don't worry if you don't see a grade there, unless you know that the assignment has already been returned, and and you still don't have a grade. Then it's good to ask questions. But beyond that, I'm going to do my very best. Ours is a very condensed class. I'm going to do my very best to get your work back to you as soon as I can. But I'm teaching 7 classes, and I'm a human being, and I have a kid. So all of these things mean that sometimes I might get a little bit behind. But my goal will always be to get your work back to you as quickly as I can. And your grades will show up in the grade book when that happens. I will try to also update you on the announcements page or with an email when I have returned grades so that you can go get them out of the Turnitin Dropbox. The way that you'll retrieve your comments is just to go back to that Turnitin Dropbox, and you'll see little comments that look like tiny little post-it notes on your document itself, and that's how you can see my comments and the grade itself. Always read the comments before you ask me questions and let them digest, because I try always to give you comments that will justify whatever the grade is. If you have questions in particular about how to implement something that I have suggested, always ask those. Those are always welcome questions. But if you're going to argue with me about a grade, I always want you to give it at least 24 hours to sort of let it marinate and let those comments sort of sink in before you start arguing with me about the grade, which this happens very rarely, but I just always give that rule of thumb. All right, so that's basically Angel. It's, I think, fairly easy to use. You will notice that, let me go back here. You will notice that the quizzes are not yet up, but quizzes work the same way as this timed writing will do. You'll see this kind of icon. That means it's a quiz, and it will be timed. And so don't start it until you know that you have adequate amount of time, because once the time is up, it won't let you answer any more questions. So make sure that you are ready for it, and that you are taking it in the appropriate amount of time. Again, quizzes close at 11:59 on Sunday. Okay, I think I've said that 9,000 times, so you should get it, and it should be clear. All right, well, that's the basic rundown of Angel. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, you should have a good sense of both what's going to happen in class and what's going to happen here on the Angel part for our hybrid class. Looking forward to working with you all, and I'll see you in class.